What's up? My name is Ryan. Kind of doing a little introductory video here. This is my 1965 Coyote Swap Mustang that I built for fun. A little about me. I'm not a body tech. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not really anything, in the automotive world kind of related. It's purely just a hobbyist. So 8 years ago, I decided to buy a Mustang, a Terminator, or Mustang, or GT500, or like. And then one day, this came across, hit my attention on the old Craigslist, and I went and bought it. I enjoyed it. It had the inline six, and it still had 3 speeds, 4-wheel drum disc brakes, which was terrifying. And so I had decided that, hey, this is going to be my project car. I'm going to build it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to put a V8 in it. I'm going to just go rip it and roaring up and down, racing it for, amateur, and enjoying cruise, go to car shows, and have just a whole mess of fun. So $3,500 later, here it is. So, well, for the car, right? First weekend I tore it apart. We started removing some rust. I did have some rust, like I had to replace the roof, had to replace the trunk pan, replace several things like that. At first I was probably gonna do like a stroker motor, didn't quite know exactly what I wanted to do, probably like a 351 Windsor. But over time, as I started stripping it down, looking into it, I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to do something, let's at least step outside the comfort zone, and let's get a modern fuel injected engine that keep it like reliable, going strong. Aftermarket support would be really good. Maintenance would be fairly easy. I was like, yeah, let's go with a Coyote motor. This was back in 2013, getting started stripping it, started building it, started trying to get the body solid, trying to get the suspension good. So come 2014, I bought my front suspension from Rod and Custom Motorsports. I have the RC 107 front end kit, which was the Mustang 2, QA1 adjustable coilovers. I got the disc brakes. So here's my Coyote engine, and as you can see, we got like the delete plates where we cut the shock towers out. That was something that was a must if you wanted to really fit this wide engine and have the room in the engine bay for the Coyote engine. So there are a couple of kits that I saw that they just trim the shock towers. Plus you have all the room in the world for activities. Yeah. So this is the Gen 1 Coyote. It is a crate motor. I did not pull it out of a wrecked car. I then got a Ford Performance control pack with the engine. That is a power by the hour air intake. I'm using the Aeromotive fuel system. It's a return style. PTFE fuel lines. Yeah, I guess still got some wiring kind of everywhere that need to be loomed and kind of put in their place, but there is my battery relocation. I think this is a UPR battery relocation kit that's meant for like a S95 or New Edge and early S197. This is a replacement Aeromotive, or I'm sorry, it's made by Tanks Incorporated, as you see right there. And then it has the Aeromotive Stealth 340 liters per hour fuel pump, and there's your feed line and then return line. Both are PTFE-6 fuel lines. For the radiator, I think this is for a 351 Cleveland, as if you would have swapped a 351 Cleveland into a 1965 Mustang. That's kind of the radiator that would have gone to it. This is a Champion 4-core radiator with a 2700 CFM Flexlight fan, and that keeps this engine plenty cool, whether it's in traffic, or running hard, going down the highway, cruising, slow driving, red light to red light. It seems to be doing pretty good. So for the wire harness for the car, I am using the painless wire harness. Now, as As far as the interior goes, it's just pretty simple. I wanted to keep this car simple. White interior is a mistake, as you can see. They get dirty super easy, which I'll never do that again if I ever have the choice. This, I believe, is a Grant steering wheel. I know I got it from CJ Pony Parts. Really nice steering wheel attached to an I Did It steering column. Now, gauge cluster, I'm using Classic Instruments autocross gauges. Those are awesome gauges. They're programmable. I got a GPS module right there on the dash for my speedo. Got oil pressure, battery voltage, kind of your standard stuff, fuel, water temp, and it works great. There's a programmable shift light on the tachometer, which is awesome and badass. Yeah, and so as you can see right there on the mileage, this build has crossed 13,645 miles on the build, so feel pretty good. Now, transmission, what's bolted to the back of the engine is a TR6060 6-speed that would have came from a GT500, like a 2007 GT500. I did raise the transmission tunnel. You can see there's kind of a little bump up. Also, I am tuned by Lund Racing. After loading their tune calibration, this car runs absolutely smooth. Probably some of the things that I'm hoping to one day get away from is I still have manual steering. Obviously, it's manual shifting, and also I have manual brakes. To help save space for the engine, I actually have a Willwood reverse-mounted pedal assembly, which puts 3 master cylinders behind the dash. A lot of times, guys are always asking, hey, these seats are really nice. The bolstering's really nice. It's a pretty heavy bolstering. It keeps you locked in place. They're very comfortable seats. Like I said, the white, they get so dirty so easily. But these are Pro Car Rally Elite seats, and they were worth every penny. It comes with the brackets to help mount it to the floorboard, and super comfortable. I've driven hours in these seats, and they're great seats. Moving on to my radio, I got a nice retro sound. You know, the way it looks, kind of factory. Has Bluetooth, has the charging cable for my iPhone. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. These are small little delete plates that I made. One's for the ashtray. This one's for the air conditioning controls. This car didn't have air conditioning, doesn't have a heater or anything like that. Still doesn't, but we do try to manage. So now, wheels and tires. I've had probably 3 different sets of tires on this car because, one, I drive the car pretty hard, and I definitely beat it like it owes me money. Currently, I have the R888R tires. These are the best tires I've ran on this car. One, it grips really well. It grabs traction very, very well for first gear, wide open throttle. I've had 0 issues with the R888R tires. Brakes. Now, the brakes, I think I have plans to get some bigger brakes, because these brakes right here, they are 11.25-inch rotors, and they're using a GM metric caliper, the iron calipers, and these are from Willwood. Both my front and rear brakes are identical, except for these have the parking brake provisions on there so that you can have parking brakes. The wheels are US Mag Ramblers. They're US Mag Ramblers. They're extremely dirty from all the brake dust. US Mag Ramblers, and with the gunmetal finish with the polished barrel. These are not obviously polished because they're just so dirty. So, yeah. And so kind of moving toward the rear, I do have a custom drive shaft that helps connect the TR6060 to the Ford 9-inch that I have. It's Curry Ford 9-inch setup. I ordered it from Speedway. I have a 350 rear end gear with the Pro Track Posi traction. The drive shaft shop, I told them that, hey, I need, I think it was like 52.5 inches long drive shaft. I need to go from the TR6060 transmission to my differential. I ordered the housing and I should have waited before I did my research on what rear suspension I was going to do for this, because I wanted to match the front. You know, I know I didn't want to keep the leaf spring rear suspension on the car. I ended up going with a TCI rear triangulated rear triangulated four link that was also a adjustable coilovers that went with my Ford 9-inch. That rear differential has a 350 rear end gear, which definitely is nice for when you want to cruise, but it's not too tall for if you want to go play. So like if I'm driving 80 miles an hour on the highway, 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, that's about 2,300 RPM at cruising speed. So if you're behaving and you're cruising for a long period of time, that actually averages about 20 miles to the gallon. For headers on this car and the exhaust, I have Doug's long tube headers. That's meant for a manual transmission. It is finished off in their polished ceramic finish that goes down to a 3-inch collector. Exhaust piping that exits out before the rear wheels. They sound nice. I have Flowmaster Super 44s. Sounds really good. There's zero drone. So at this point of kind of the build, I'm just now kind of getting to the realization that maybe documenting this would probably benefit somebody, right? Whether it's a don't do what this guy does, or it might pay. That might be a pretty good idea or a good way of doing a thing that I did right on this job, on this car. So, so goals for the car is I've had so much fun taking it to the drag strip. I really want to get into autocrossing and road racing. I know I've been invited out a couple of times to go road racing or to a track event, and just unfortunately things were not in my favor to allow me to go. But pretty soon I will be going. Now, for over this past winter, what I plan on doing is I'm going to get as soon as I finish re-upping my registration for my car, I'm going to, 1, add power steering. 2, I'm going to install a wide body kit onto the car. I have a spoiler that I'm also going to install. And then I'm going to order some wheels to kind of fill in that wide body kit. So it'll be a whole lot of fun. It'll definitely get the cool kind of Trans Am race car look that I was kind of like hoping for, as well as have modern drivetrain. The car is very simple. I've thoroughly enjoyed driving the car. It gets a lot of cool attention. This car is just a ton of fun to drive. So stay tuned as we continue to modify the 65 Mustang. We're going to install the wide body kit. We have power steering, air conditioning. There's the power rack. We're going to get some nice wheels made with the wide body kit. Right over there, there's the spoiler for the car. I appreciate you staying tuned. See you next time.